Your brain is addicted to pain and chaos, but it isn't your fault. How do I know? I was addicted to pain, chaos, and abuse my whole life. I do want to go ahead and give a trigger warning. Obviously, I just dropped the A word. This video is going to be heavy. We're going to mention abuse of every kind. This is going to be raw. This is going to be real. This is not suitable for children. This video is suitable for you if you're ready to break out of the cycle and do the hard work and do the healing yourself. So thank you for being here. Just clicking on this video is a huge step, and I want you to know that. I've heard that several times watching videos like this over my healing journey. Never believed it. This is monumental. You chose yourself just clicking it, and I'm really proud of you. I am going to talk very in depth about me and my past, and I'm going to be very vulnerable. And I want to give a blanket statement for everything that I'm going to say about my past. I talk about my past situations from a perspective and with respect for my own growth and my own journey. I do not talk about my past to demonize the people in my past. From the beginning, all my nervous system knew was chaos. I was in a house full of rage, emotional instability, and adults whose moods and emotions I had to manage. As a teenager, I dealt with severe mental health problems, eating disorders, and self-harm. Self-harm both physically and mentally. Whenever I reached out for help as a child, I was met with being called ungrateful, being called dramatic. I was met with, you can't be a Christian and anxious and depressed at the same time. I was met with, you just need to pray about it. You just need to pray harder. I was never given a safe place for my emotions to land. And that's pretty much what I learned. It solidified what I had picked up on, the patterns I had picked up on, the patterns that I had picked up on in childhood. And it just solidified in my brain that my thoughts and feelings and emotions weren't safe with anyone else. And subconsciously, I took that and ran with it. And my version of love was where my emotions aren't safe with anyone. At 18, I was pressured into marrying my first husband. I desperately needed a place to stay and the validation of a man, so I agreed. We got married 4 months after I turned 18. We had lived with his grandparents, and very, very quickly, I found myself in the same situation. A rage-filled home with adults whose emotions I had to manage. It was very quickly that my first husband and I, my ex-husband and I, decided to get our first apartment. 1 week before we moved out of his grandparents' house, he hit me for the first time. And he swore to me, begged, pleaded, cried, I'm pretty sure most women know all the emotions, that it would never happen again. Don't leave him. He's gonna change. He's gonna do better. For the next 2 years, he abused me physically, mentally, emotionally, and eventually sexually. Again, I found myself in a rage-filled home with adults whose feelings and emotions I had to manage. Now, that story doesn't have a horrible ending. I did work up the strength to leave him, eventually. It took a lot, but I did not leave him under the premise of rebuilding my life and doing better. I jumped ship from this situation to the next one, and for 3 more years, I continued the cycle of people who abused me. Not just partners, friends, any close relationship I would get would be rage-filled with emotions I had to manage. It would be mental, physical, emotional, sexual abuse. It was a cycle I was stuck in. I had absolutely no idea I was stuck in a trauma loop until the universe sent me my match. A man who could bend any situation to make himself the victim to justify his own actions. This man put me through absolute hell and chaos for almost 2 years before I ever woke up. And then when I woke up, I realized my brain was addicted to this cycle. I was addicted and conditioned to seek out relationships with super high highs and super low lows. My brain was after the super, super good high feeling followed by the super big crash. It's addictive. It is addictive for your nervous system, your body, and your brain. It is not your fault you keep getting stuck in this loop. It's not your fault you were never told, you were never taught. It took a lot of shadow work and courage to just be honest with myself like that. It took me digging trenches at rock bottom to finally realize something's not working. I was conditioned from childhood to seek emotional instability. I was only valuable if I was an emotional punching bag for the people that I loved. And then I realized my worth isn't tied to my emotional labor. I'm no longer a child. I'm responsible for what I tolerate, what I don't, and where I draw the line. Myself, my peace, my time, my energy are valuable, and they're worth protecting. And so are yours. And no, I did not have this realization and then leave overnight. This took months of grueling inner work. I used to stare at myself in the mirror, sobbing, begging myself to choose me, to let go, to pick me. I'm emotionally intelligent, and I was fully aware of all the healing I was going to have to do after that. I was fully aware that I was digging myself deeper in this trench. But I was so addicted to this cycle. I couldn't break out of it. I was conditioned to think that's what I needed. That was safety. That was normal. But when I did wake up and choose myself, this entire universe chose me back. So how does this loop even sneak up on you? So your brain, especially your subconscious, is wired to pick up on patterns and pick up on what's normal. And for your brain, what's normal is what's safe. What's different is scary danger. Especially if you've been in fight or flight since childhood, your brain is conditioned to pick up on those things. Your brain chooses to replicate patterns. If instability and chaos are all you've known, of course you're going to choose the man who screams at you like your mother and has the availability to see you like your father. How do you identify that you're in this loop? How do you identify that you are addicted to the high highs and the low lows? So it takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength in yourself, point blank. You have to be willing to sit with the deepest, darkest parts of yourself and shine a light. You have to get to know yourself from the inside out. You have to be willing to ask yourself the hard questions and give yourself honest answers. And it's okay to not know where to start. It's okay to not know what questions to ask. Baby girl, I got you. Here are the things that I ask myself that truly help me stop sobbing to myself in the mirror and help me escape. So the first thing that I really asked myself that really triggered all of this for me was, can I stop looking at them and look at myself? Not to blame myself, but to reclaim myself. And when I realized I was worth more, yes, absolutely. So here's how I dived a little bit deeper. Why does love always feel like I'm walking on eggshells? Love shouldn't hurt, and you shouldn't be in a constant fear of saying something wrong to set your partner off. That's not normal. You shouldn't have this constant fear of being too much or too needy or too sensitive. Do I feel more anxious around them than safe? I want you to sit with this one. I want you to notice the feelings in your body. Do you have knots in your stomach? Are they butterflies or are they warning signs? Does your nervous system feel calm and at peace? Or do you feel like you need to get the fuck out of here? That is telling, and your body doesn't lie to you. Why do I feel the need to shrink myself in order to keep the peace? How much of yourself are you really silencing to survive? Why do I always end up feeling like the villain in their story? Does every argument leave you confused and doubting yourself? Do your words get twisted and now you're shouldering the blame for anything you brought up? Baby, I hate to tell you, but you're being gaslit. Let's call it what it is. What am I getting out of this that I can't get anywhere else? Are you craving approval from someone who keeps withholding it? Are you loyal to someone who makes you feel chosen and discarded in one big loop? Baby, that's not love, that's a trauma bond. When you picture peace, is it alone? Does that solitude feel more like freedom and clarity than a punishment? That's your sign, baby. What patterns have you seen in your family that you swore you'd never repeat? Do you see that little thread running through your life? Everything adding up to that same thing? Cut it. I'll hand you the scissors. Cut it. And I want to say this as plainly and as clearly as I can. The only way to break yourself out of this cycle is to find yourself and stand firm in your truth. You're worthy of peace, joy, and safety. You're responsible for taking control of your own life. You can do it scared. You're so much stronger than you would ever know. You are worth the work that it takes to get to where you want to be. You and your life and everything you want to be are within your reach. You're not stuck in this cycle forever. I don't care if your mom, your grandma, and your great-grandma all had abusive relationships their entire life and that's all you've ever seen. Baby, you're responsible for you now. And I can speak about this so freely and so openly because I've been to the depths of this and I have kicked, clawed, scratched, screamed, bit my way up out of it. I can tell you, there's another side. I am married to the most amazing man. I never thought I would meet this man. This is a man that from when I was little, I would write things in a journal, everything I wanted in a husband, and this is him. And I met him walking into an O'Reilly's. So your life isn't over because you're with a piece of shit. Your life isn't over because you feel like you're stuck in a loop. Your life is just beginning because you realize you can break out of it. And I am so proud of you for that. That is so hard, I know. It takes a lot of work, I know. No one wants to do it. No one wants to do the hard work. They just want to show up on the other side and have everything they want. But that's not how it works. At the end of the day, I just want you to know that you are not alone. I see you. I feel you. I've been you. If you need any guidance, if you need any help, or if you just need an ear or a shoulder, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You're worth more than you know, and life is about to open up beautiful, amazing paths for you. I hope you have the best day. Bye.